watched Fox News for just a few minutes today, and the segment I got, the only segment I got, was some judge. My heart went out to her. She had someone show up on her doorstep, knock on the door, and they killed her son. That any of us would lose a family member to a criminal is heart-wrenching. And for that, I felt sorry for her. As I contemplated what happened, she was advocating for, and kind of on a very quiet but solid rant, in which she was asking for laws to protect the judges. And what she's really asking for is a way to get a different kind of justice. The hypocrisy built into that was almost overwhelming. What makes a judge, and the fact that one is a judge, what makes their life and their surroundings more important than anyone else's, such that they get some special laws? We know that criminals are criminals. It doesn't matter what the law is. So they make some special law for a judge. Will that stop a criminal? The answer is no. The people who stop the criminals, there's three legs to that. One is the legislature, the Congress, whatever level we're at, that makes laws that are meaningful and motivational, and when implemented will stop the bad guy. That's one leg of it. The second leg of it is enforcement. We give whoever the enforcement agency is or are, we give it or they the power that they need to enforce, to arrest, and to appropriately arrest. The third one is the judiciary, and give them the power to exercise the rule of law in such a way that it is, in fact, motivational. That people who commit crimes that are not crimes of passion will be motivated to not commit those crimes. Now, we know that in crimes of passion, there's not books, but hundreds of books written about the crimes of passion. And we know that people go off their nut and they do crazy things. Should they be punished? Well, no, they were crazy at the time. We can't do it. Let's lock them up for 40 years and pay $290,000 a year. Oh my, that'll be a good thing for them and good for us. The question becomes one of how do we value life? Why is that judge's position in life any more important than yours? Why shouldn't you have special laws to protect you? Oh, wait, you do. There's laws against murder, injury, the list goes on and on and on. And there's been appropriate sanctions put for it, if sanctions are such thing as appropriate. Why would it be more appropriate to have some other sanction for a criminal than what's already there? Why? What justification do you have? By you, I don't mean you personally, but you as a society. What justification do you have to say this particular bad act that causes the death of a person is so much less than this bad act that causes the death of a person that's the same act, just a different person? One of the things I found offensive this last spring was the admitted rapist. A rapist. At his core, a rapist. And the judge gave him 3 months with time served. He didn't spend any time in jail, nothing. And they said, oh gee, it's going to go on his record. So what? So I was pretty offended by that Fox segment, not by Fox itself, but by the judge and her whining and pissing and moaning. She collectively, and by that I mean her and all the other judges, could step up to the plate of responsibility and enforce the rule of law. But they won't do it. They won't do it politically, and they won't do it personally. They don't have the integrity. I'm on a rant because I've, on 3 different occasions, I've had somebody go to jail or prison that was innocent, and the judge knew it. On 2 of those, I got called into the judge's office for an explanation, a justification of why he did what he did. And on 1 of them, the judge stopped me in the halls and apologized, but told me that he could not follow the rule of law because the other judges were opposed to that. It's not rocket science. That branch of government, the judicial branch of government, in conjunction with the other 2 branches, has the power to stop a lot of what's happening. And they should not get any special favors because they're judges or any special laws until collectively they, as a group, follow the rule of law, enforce the things the way they should be enforced, and then, if it doesn't work, the legislature work on how to create a system to fix what's not working. The executive branch would enforce it, and the judiciary would then follow up with the rule of law and make the application. So there it is. I've said it 3 times. That's all you're supposed to say it. I was offended by this judge. I feel sorry for her loss. I've got no compassion for her as whatever she is as a judge. None. Because at the root, at the core of the whole thing, the irony and hypocrisy built into this are beyond merely flagrant. And they don't just, that's like, well, you can't carry guns in the courtroom because you might hurt somebody. It doesn't matter, the courtroom is one of the safest places in the whole United States you can be. The judges don't want the guns there because they know when they follow the rule of law, they're going to have a lot, or when they do not follow the rule of law, they're going to have a lot of pissed off people, and they don't want pissed off people making them personally accountable. I watched the show the other night, and I thought it was an amazing show. It was inspiring, and I'd encourage any of you that have the opportunity to see it. It's called Peppermint. And it shows, and it's just a show, but in the show, the telling, it tells the story of making our officials accountable and making the people who do bad and dastardly things accountable. I have to tell you, I was surprised at how much I enjoyed it. In fact, I was actually frightened by how much I enjoyed it. So I'm turning this into a rant. I don't want to. We're right at 2 weeks away from Christmas. the holiday season, my personal prayer in my heart is that each one of you can find joy and peace in this holiday season, that you can be valued and that you can find value in the people around you, and that you can have your loved ones around you. My further hope and prayer is that with the political ravages and the physical ravages of what they call the pandemic and all of those things, that as much as reasonably possible you can avoid that and have a really good time. And my Santa hat sitting over here, I'm not going to put it on, but ho, ho, ho. Merry Christmas and make it so.